The universe follows one great law, which manifests in various forms but is ultimately the same. We are familiar with some of its manifestations, like the law of gravitation, but we are still learning about others, like the law of attraction in the thought world. When we understand that thought is a force, like energy, with a magnetic power to attract, we will begin to grasp many things that have been a mystery to us. The study of the law of attraction in the thought world will be the most rewarding. When we think, we emit vibrations that are just as real as light, heat, electricity, and magnetism. These thought vibrations cannot be seen or felt with our senses, but they can still be perceived by others. Light and heat are produced by vibrations of a lower intensity than thought, but there is a gap between the two that could include another world of sensations. Mental science teaches us that thoughts are things, meaning that when we think, we create vibrations that are just as real as other forms of energy. If we fully understand this, we will be able to use thought force in our daily lives. Thought produces ripples that spread through the ocean of thought, similar to a stone being thrown into water. These thought waves move in all directions, like rays from the sun, and their intensity decreases with distance as they encounter friction from the surrounding mind. We are constantly surrounded by a vast sea of mind, and our thoughts move through it, influencing and being influenced by others. The character of our thoughts shapes who we are, but thoughts from others also impact us. Only thoughts that are in harmony with our mental attitude, determined by our general outlook on life, will be received by us. If we think positive and successful thoughts, we attract similar thoughts, but if we focus on failure, we attract negative thoughts and negativity. Our mental attunement, like a magnetic wireless instrument, determines which thoughts we receive. The mind has different levels of pitch, ranging from high positive to low negative. Humans have one mind with multiple mental faculties. Each of these faculties can function in two ways: actively and passively. Active effort is a direct impulse at the time of effort. On the other hand, passive effort is the result of previous active efforts, suggestions, thought vibrations from others, or hereditary thought impulses from ancestors. Active efforts are fresh, they create, and they change, while passive efforts are less recent and continue and follow orders. Thoughts or motions from active efforts can become automatic with repetition, but they can also be changed or stopped by later active efforts. Conversely, thoughts or motions from passive efforts can be terminated or corrected by active efforts. The active function also has the power to neutralize or change thought habits. Multiple faculties can combine to perform a single task, with some faculties manifesting actively and others passively. New conditions require active effort, while familiar problems can be handled by passive effort. There is an instinctive tendency in nature to perform certain actions, which is a passive mental impulse transmitted by the primal cause and assisted by the attraction of the absolute. This tendency is evident in plant life, ranging from simple to more advanced forms. The lower animal kingdom shows a high degree of passive mental effort and varying degrees of active mentation. Lower animals possess reason to a lesser degree than humans, but intelligent animals can show nearly as much volitional mentation as lower forms of humans or young children. A person has the power to shape their mind and control it to their will. People are constantly building their minds, whether knowingly or not. Yet, those with a profound comprehension have taken command and have become aware designers of their mindset. They no longer allow the suggestions and influences of others to control them, but have become masters of themselves. The I is the ruler of the mind, and what we call will is the tool of the I. There is a higher force behind this, the universal will, but the individual's will is still closely connected to it. By conquering the lower self and asserting the I, the person becomes in close touch with the universal will and has access to its power. Before a person can take advantage of this power, they must first gain mastery over the lower self. A person is a slave to the lower parts of their mind, including moods, passions, and animal instincts, and cannot claim the benefits of the will until they master these parts. Self-mastery involves the assertion of the I over these parts. To assert the I in its full strength, a person must first conquer the subordinate parts of themselves. The only way to master anything is by asserting the will. When the lower parts of the self are in control, a person is a slave. The way to establish order and peace in the mental kingdom is by asserting the will and insisting on its execution. Before a person can conquer the world, they must first conquer themselves by showing their ability to govern their own mind. The first battle is to conquer the lower self by the real self. Here is an affirmation that we can use. I am in control of my true self. Say these words to yourself at least once every hour, especially when you are faced with situations that tempt you to act in a way that goes against your true nature. Repeat these words when you are uncertain or hesitant. Repeat them multiple times before going to sleep. Make sure to truly believe these words and not just recite them like a parrot. Visualize your true self taking control over your mind and see yourself as the king or queen on the throne. You will start to experience an influx of positive thoughts, and the things that once seemed challenging will become easier. You will feel empowered and in control, no longer a slave to your negative thoughts. Your thoughts will manifest in your actions, and you will gradually become what you envision. Try this exercise. Focus your mind on your true self and draw inspiration from it when you feel tempted to give in to negative impulses. When you feel angry, assert control over your thoughts and your voice will become calm. Anger does not reflect the true self. When you feel upset, remind yourself of your true nature and rise above the negative emotions. If you feel fearful, remember that the true self is fearless and assert courage. When jealousy arises, think of your higher nature and let go of the feeling. Keep asserting your true self and do not allow negative thoughts to control you. You should be in control of these thoughts, not the other way around. To break free from negative thinking, you must distance yourself from it. It may be difficult at first, but with perseverance, you will feel the satisfaction that comes from conquering your negative impulses. You have been a slave for too long. It's time to be free. If you stay committed to this exercise, you will see a significant change in yourself by the end of the year and will look back at your former self with a smile. But it takes effort and dedication. Are you up for the challenge? While everyone acknowledges the existence and influence of the will, only a small number comprehend that it can be enhanced through smart training. There are differing theories on the nature of the will, but what matters is the results of intelligent practice. Some believe every person has a strong will that can be harnessed through training the mind, while others believe the willpower can be developed, controlled, and directed like any other natural force. Those who have developed their mind to harness their willpower have unlocked tremendous potential and previously unknown abilities. Despite this, many individuals lack the drive and determination to harness their willpower and have a tendency towards mental sluggishness. The key to unlocking willpower is having a strong desire to do so. If one truly wants something, they can develop the willpower to achieve it. Don't blame your lack of will. It's a result of being mentally lazy and not wanting the thing enough to pay the price of attainment. Practice this auto-suggestion for willpower. Repeat the phrase, "I am using my willpower," several times with conviction and positivity. Repeat it at least once every hour throughout the day, especially when facing challenges that require willpower. Repeat the phrase before going to bed as well. The words themselves are not important. What matters is the thoughts behind them. Focus on what you are saying and truly mean it. Start with faith and repeat the words with confidence in the outcome. Imagine that you are tapping into your willpower reserves, and soon you will see that the thoughts have taken form in action. You will feel a surge of strength with each repetition. Overcoming obstacles and breaking bad habits will become easier. Here's a willpower exercise. Challenge yourself to complete one unpleasant task each day for a month. If there is a task you have been avoiding, make that the one you tackle. This exercise is not about being self-sacrificing or submissive, but rather about developing your willpower. Anyone can do something enjoyable, but it takes will to tackle something unpleasant with a positive attitude. This exercise will turn out to be a valuable form of training. Give it a try for a month and see the results. If you choose to avoid this exercise, it means you are content with your current level of willpower and lack the motivation to improve. To overcome fear, you must adopt a mental attitude of courage. Instead of denying fear, embrace and assert your courage. Hold the ideal of courage in your mind constantly until it becomes your normal mental state. Replace fear thought with positive and confident thoughts like, I am courageous and there's nothing to fear. This positive mindset attracts success as opposed to the negative mindset that attracts failure and unhappiness. Replace the thought of I can't with I can and I will. Stop attracting negative thoughts and start sending out positive, happy thoughts. Overcoming fear will bring freedom and will result in having positive outcomes in your life. Worry is an offspring of fear. By eliminating fear, you are cutting off the source of support for worry. Despite its age-old nature, this advice continues to hold significance and remain relevant as it is a lesson we need to continually learn. Some people believe that without worry and fear, we cannot achieve anything. However, this is a fallacy, no matter who says it. Worry never aided anyone in their accomplishments. Rather, it hinders progress and success. The driving force behind action is desire and interest. If one truly desires something, they will naturally become interested and quickly take advantage of opportunities to attain it. This leads to the subconscious mind generating valuable ideas. Success is a result of desire and interest, not worry. When surroundings become unbearable, it can drive people to make changes, but this is still a form of desire as they desire a different situation. Worry only causes stress and achieves nothing. Desire and interest are positive and life enhancing. Worry can lead to death, but never to success. To succeed, one must eliminate fear and worry and replace them with confidence and hope and transform worry into strong desire. This awakens interest and attracts thoughts and help from others. The law of attraction states that like attracts like, and the more one desires something, the more force they set into motion. One must want something greatly and will be willing to pay the price to attain it. The stronger the desire, the greater the compensation one will receive. If one truly desires something, they will not question the cost. To truly desire something, one must want it more than anything else and be prepared to pay the price, even if it means giving up other things. Your thoughts are either obedient servants or cruel masters, depending on how you let them be. You have control over them. It is your choice. They will either follow your commands, doing their best for you, even when you're sleeping. Some of our most productive mental work is done while our conscious mind is at rest, as evidenced by waking up to find that our problems have been solved, or they will become your masters, tormenting you if you let them. Unfortunately, more than half of the world's population are slaves to their thoughts. Your mind is yours to use for your own good, not the other way around. Only a few people understand this and know how to manage their thoughts. The secret is concentration. With a little practice, anyone can learn how to use their mind effectively. To focus on a task, concentrate on it to the exclusion of all else, and you'll find that your mind will immediately get to work and solve the problem. With proper concentration, there is no waste or loss of power, and every ounce of energy is put to use. For those who know the laws of mental control, it seems absurd to lie awake at night worrying about the problems of the day or future. Just as you can slow down an engine, you can slow down your mind. Thousands of people are learning to do this through new thought. The best way to do it is to focus on something else, as different as possible from your worries. There's no use trying to force out a worrying thought, as that is a waste of energy. The more you say, "I won't think of this," the more it persists in your mind. Instead, let it go and focus on something completely different, using your willpower to keep your attention on it. With a little practice, you'll find that you can easily control your thoughts. There's only room for one thing at a time in your mind's focus, so concentrate on one thought and the others will naturally drift away. Try it for yourself. Get rid of fear and bring life into your daily existence. Too many people are living without ambition, energy, vitality, or interest. It's time to awaken and display signs of being alive. Don't let life's worries drain you of your vitality, but instead assert the life force within you and express it in everything you do. Put some life into your work and activities. Stop doing things half-heartedly and start taking an interest in them. There's always something interesting happening around us, but we need to assert our life force and actually live, not just exist. No one has ever achieved anything without putting life into their tasks, thoughts, and actions. The world needs more lively people. Acquire a sense of conscious life and show how mental science has changed you for the better. Start making yourself over today with the proper interest and motivation. Here's an affirmation and exercise. Focus on the idea that the I within you is full of life and energy, both mentally and physically. Repeat this thought to yourself often, including when you wake up and go to sleep, at mealtimes, and at least once every hour throughout the day. Visualize yourself as full of life and energy. When you start a task, affirm to yourself that I am alive, and infuse as much life as possible into the task. If you feel down, affirm I am alive, and take deep breaths, imagining each inhalation bringing in strength and life, and each exhalation releasing negative and dead conditions. Finish with a strong affirmation of I am alive, and live up to it in your actions. Don't just say that you are alive, but show it through your actions. Take an active interest in what you do, avoid daydreaming, and truly live. According to Professor William James, a renowned teacher and writer on psychology, stated, quote, "The key to education is to make our nervous system our ally instead of our adversary. This requires us to adopt as many useful actions as possible and avoid actions that may be detrimental. When trying to form a new habit or break an old one, it is essential to start with a strong and decisive effort. Don't let exceptions happen until the new habit is firmly established. Act on every resolution and emotional prompting in the direction of the desired habits," end quote. This concept is common to students of mental science, but Professor James explains it more clearly. The idea is to send the right impulses to our subconscious mind so that they become automatic. Our subconscious is like a storehouse for suggestions from ourselves and others, and as it is the habit mind, we must be careful to feed it the right material. If we form good habits, our subconscious will make it easier for us to repeat them until we are firmly bound by them. On the other hand, we must be careful not to form undesirable habits. When trying to form a new habit or break an old one, we should throw ourselves into the task with enthusiasm to make a strong impression on the subconscious mind. Guard against temptations to break the new habit, as yielding just this once can ruin the resolution. Each time you resist temptation, the resolution becomes stronger. Act on your resolution as soon as possible, as every action reinforces it. The mind is like a piece of paper that folds easily along the creases it has established. Every time we form a habit, it becomes easier for the mind to follow that habit. Let's create the right habits and creases in our mind. Emotions are often thought of as separate from habits, but they are largely dependent on habit. Emotions can be repressed, increased, developed, and changed, just as habits of action and thought can be regulated. Emotions deepen through repetition, so if a person allows an emotion to take over, it will become easier to experience the same emotion again. Undesirable emotions can be managed by working to get rid of or master them at the start, before the habit becomes entrenched. For example, jealousy, rage, worry, fault-finding, envy, uncharitableness, gossip, and slandering are all habits that grow stronger with each indulgence. By giving into negative emotions, one makes it easier for them to occur again or for similar emotions to grow. This is a reminder of the law underlying the psychology of emotion, which is not new but has been known for a long time. The best way to get rid of negative feelings is not by pushing them away, but by cultivating positive feelings that are opposite to the negative ones. Most people believe they are controlled by their emotions and feelings, but this is not the truth. The new psychology teaches that individuals have control over their emotions and can change their nature by developing desirable brain cells and allowing the undesirable ones to waste away. The brain is like a musical instrument with millions of keys, and people come into the world with certain tendencies and temperaments. Nevertheless, with discipline and cultivation, one can develop, modify, and abandon their mental outlook. Habits of thought, feeling, and action are formed through repeated use and can be changed by changing thoughts and behaviors. Mental scientists describe positive thoughts as positive and negative thoughts as negative. The best way to overcome negative thoughts is by cultivating positive thoughts, which will ultimately starve the negative thoughts. Negative thoughts may resist change at first, but if positive thoughts are developed, the negative ones will eventually become weaker and cease to exist. To attain success, it is important to eliminate fear and focus your mind on what you want to achieve. Once you have achieved this level of mastery, it is also important to be aware of mental leaks or distractions that can detract from your focus. Your mind must fall in love with the thing you want to achieve, to the point where it becomes your ruling passion, and everything else is of secondary importance. This requires a strong and earnest focus, not just a fleeting interest. When your mind is concentrated on your goal, it works on the subconscious level, generating plans and ideas to help you achieve success. But if you let your thoughts wander, the subconscious mind won't be able to assist you, causing you to miss out on the strong advantages of concentrated thinking. This can also prevent you from attracting people, resources, and opportunities that could aid in your success. In order to keep your business thriving, it is important to stay focused and avoid distractions. The more you concentrate on your goal, the more likely you are to achieve success. Successful and strong individuals have distinct characteristics compared to unsuccessful and weak individuals. The main difference is energy and invincible determination. With these qualities, one can conquer obstacles and achieve great things. Many people have energy but lack focus and direction. It is important to use the power of the will to guide and direct energy towards desired ends. The human will is a powerful force in the universe, but most people do not fully realize its power. Words, energy, and invincible determination can serve as a constant inspiration and should be made a part of one's life. People often undervalue themselves and overvalue successful individuals, but it is important to remember that successful people are not extraordinary. They are simply ordinary people who put energy and determination into their pursuits. You are entitled to the best the world has to offer, no matter how undeserving you may feel. The good things in life belong to all, but only those who are wise enough to see it and courageous enough to take it, receive it. Don't let the fear of being unworthy keep you from asking, demanding, and taking what you deserve. You are a manifestation of the universe and a child of the infinite, making everything that exists your rightful inheritance. By having a strong desire, confident expectation, and courage in action, you can attain what you want. But first, you must believe in your right to it, without any lingering doubts. Avoid the humble attitude. It serves no purpose and makes you look weak. Be confident, look the world in the face, and never be afraid to demand what is rightfully yours. In conclusion, the law of attraction is a powerful force that operates in our lives and affects our reality, whether we believe in it or not. Our thoughts are real things that influence our environment and attract similar thoughts and experiences into our lives. By aligning our thoughts with our desires and beliefs, we can harness the power of the law of attraction and create a life filled with positivity, abundance, and success. Embrace the power of your thoughts, clear up your mental atmosphere, and align with the law to live the life you deserve.